Okay, let's just get started though. It's now 9 o'clock. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'm Donna Castillo. I'm with the Keller in the Santa Clara Valley office. I've been doing real estate now for I'm going on my 6th year. Before that, I was in corporate marketing for semiconductor companies, and I worked at Adobe as well. Adobe, the Cisco's of the world, was a consultant in marketing, did that for most of my life until my company that I was working with at the time called Atmel got bought by a company called Microchip. Microchip is in Phoenix, Arizona. So my job moved to Phoenix. My family was here. And I had my license, kind of dabbed in it. And then I decided to go full time. And then a company called ServiceNow gave me the big title, the big budget, the big salary and all that. And so I took it, they dangled it in front of me and I took it. And I think immediately that first day, I knew I wasn't where I belonged. I was tired of being a road warrior and traveling all the time. And I wasn't really helping anybody anymore. I didn't feel that connection with people. So that was 9 months. And then I came back and I started doing real estate full time. The day that I quit that corporate job, I was really a mess. A single mom, I hadn't been marketing myself as being a realtor or prospecting or anything about what we're going to talk about today. And I was fortunate enough to have been doing it before I got that job, that somebody that I went to high school with that I hadn't talked to for, 30 years at that point, gave me a call and said that she was a flipper and wanted to buy a house in Willow Glen. And if I bought it, I could sell it. And, that was on my drive home when I was crying, not knowing what I was going to do with my life. So, it's hang in there, keep marketing yourself. So that's a little bit about me. And I've been with Keller Williams now about 3 years. I started in Ontario and then made the switch over to KW, and I've been ecstatic ever since. And my business has just gone bang, just been doing really well, especially once I got a coach. And so that's a little bit about me. Feel free to ask questions anytime. We'll start going through the slide deck. So we're in Ignite. This session is about marketing. And we're going to talk about, what's the difference between marketing and prospecting, the costs associated, what's working, pros and cons. And so we'll follow the slides here, and feel free to raise your hand anytime. So today we're going to focus on growing your business, lead gen. We talked about that for buyers and sellers. I heard one person working with a buyer and trying to get the offers accepted. And then running your business, which is a little bit different, is really marketing your listings and showing buyers houses over and over again until you get an offer accepted. Your transaction management, it's all listed here, setting goals. And I think a really important part of running your business and moving from E to P or from entrepreneur to, professional business is managing the money, getting that monthly P&L statement, and understanding how you're spending the market, where you're spending the market, how you're spending it, and are you spending it on the right things if you are going to be spending that money, especially now that we're talking about a little bit of shift in the market. So really paying attention to that bottom line and paying attention to every dollar you spend. I mean, sometimes, we get subscriptions and things, and it's just automatically hitting our account. And it's amazing how much you can save when you start going through and see what's important to your business and what isn't. And so what have you guys been doing for your marketing so far versus prospecting? Where have you guys been spending your money? Anybody?
I've been farming. I have to get back on it. I've been slacking, but I've been hesitant just because of that, because, I haven't made a deal yet. And I'm just afraid all the money I'm gonna spend on stamps and continually just doing that. But yeah, I've been farming and door knocking.
Well, farming, door knocking is farming, right? And so, you can make your color copies in the office, and it's really the cost is, is you knocking on doors, right? So that's a good way to not spend money and be marketing yourself, right? And the more they see you, and if you're consistent, it just takes time when you're door knocking, right? People want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so that just takes a while to develop those relationships. Anybody else have any ideas of what they're doing for marketing? We go on. Okay. So marketing versus prospecting. We're going to be talking about that. Then we're going to talk about going a little bit deeper on the marketing, post-marketing materials and command, and how to use command for your marketing, for flyers, right, Nate, or whatever you're using. and how I'm going to manage your database and things like that. So you'll be able to you're going to be able, after this, you're going to be able to differentiate between marketing and prospecting and a little bit on command. Okay. Once again, so, I think that every class has this triangle, right? Prospecting activity usually doesn't cost money, right? Marketing does. And so when you're shifting in the market like we are right now, really pay attention, right? You want to be able to flourish during this time, right? It's a time to really pay attention to where you're spending those dollars. And so what are some of the okay, so we talked about door knocking with flyers or farming with a card, which is a little bit more expensive. Anything else that you've seen out there that you feel has been successful, or that you've tried or you see but you don't think is successful for you? Anything? You guys are shy. Okay. So once again, the triangle shows you how the money, when you go into marketing, it's money intense. It's not passive. It takes a little bit longer when you're marketing. Prospecting, you get a little bit more immediate results. I find that my database is really where my money is. So it's really being in contact with them. In addition to the 36 touch, I'm doing events every month and cards and things like that. So that's where I focus on my prospecting. That's where I spend money. Okay. Thinking deeply already, huh? I'm going to thinking deeply about marketing. So they're talking about, you're going to be able to identify the characters and pros and cons. So we're going to talk about what's good and what's bad about marketing. So we're going to go a little deeper besides just talking about flyers. And so here we have examples of prospecting. So I talk about that phone or face-to-face. I did an Easter egg hunt for Easter. I did it on Saturday, the day before. I probably had, I don't know, a couple hundred people there, and walked away with 75 contacts and 6 appointments. And so when you're doing these events, so I did spend money on that. That was prospecting, kind of marketing. I did spend some money on that, but I watched closely. So I know exactly what my ROI or my return on investment was on that activity. There's listings, FSBOs, expires, circle prospecting. So I do a lot of that every time I have a listing. Gene Rivers talks a lot about this, where you should always get a second listing when you have a listing in a neighborhood. If you don't have a listing in that neighborhood, you can still prospect around the neighborhood, because usually another listing will pop up. I was just getting a new listing on a street called Jacksall in San Jose, and as I drove around that neighborhood, there was already 3 other houses on the market. So it just shows that one person wants to sell, and all of a sudden everybody else thinks it's a good idea. And it's about you being in front of them first and getting those listings. So Gene Rivers teaches you to get 30 houses on the same street of your listing, behind and in front. And so it's like 90 to 100 people that you circle prospect pretty intensely when you have a listing, or when you're using an office listing. Apartment complexes, great if you want to get first-time home buyers, because they're all renting, and you could do an analysis for them on the cost of renting compared to buying. And in Santa Clara County as well, there's some programs where, and then look them up. I just saw there was a class on it yesterday, where the county, after you go through some training, will give you 17% of your down payment. You only have to come up as a buyer with 3% in closing costs. And you have to live in the house for a certain amount of time. And then it just gets forgiven. If you sell the house before that period of time, you pay back that 17%, but it's at no interest and no penalties. Great program for first-time home buyers. Create a great flyer. You can pass it around an apartment complex if you want to go door knocking, or if you want to mail. So these are really prospective, really low-cost things that you can do. Key relationships, corporations, builders, banks. I have a friend that works at a plumbing company. I did a first-time home buyer seminar, and from that one seminar, I've gotten 4 transactions. Didn't happen right away, but I did. I fed them lunch, and I got 4 transactions from that one first-time home buyers at a friend's company during lunch, and just bought some sandwiches. It was actually just Subway, and some sodas, some waters, and did the class. And we have the materials on how to present for first-time home buyers that are available through Command. low cost prospecting face to face, and then you can follow up with phone, add them to command, and keep loving them until they're ready to make that move. Teaching and speaking, I'm doing that now. We talked about the door-to-door networking events are great. So I belong to the Campbell Chamber of Commerce. I'll be joining the Silicon Valley one as well. But really finding at least one event a week that you're going out to talk to people. And it doesn't have to be a chamber, type of, but it's just really just find events. You could do meetups and things like that to really use that forward conversation. And people always ask you, how's the market? Is it softening? Is it shifting? And be ready with those answers, right? So daily, making sure you know how many on the market, how many are pending, how many are sold, where we are in the inventory in the county, and then especially in the area that you specialize in, so that you can have those conversations. And another way to get when somebody asks you, when you're going through your forward conversations, they'll inevitably ask you, how's the real estate market? Always listen, right? So instead of just saying, well, there's 500 houses in, San Jose that are available, and just start spouting stats around it, your first question should always be, why do you ask? Are you thinking of buying or selling? And then that kind of gives you an idea and a gauge, because you don't know. You don't know until you ask. So always remember to ask for the business. Some things that is prospecting and marketing, we talked about this with Nate, is that farming, right? So it could be a mailer card that's going out automatically through a company, or it's you having a flyer with information on real estate activity in that neighborhood, knocking on doors or dropping them off. We have events, kind of both, right? My Easter egg hunt was a little bit of prospecting, but I did spend some money, so it was marketing as well. Contest, so there's the reverse. You'll find if you ever attend Bold, you'll understand the reverse 100. If you want information on that, I can give it to you after the class. Client appreciation events, great way to connect. If you're new, right? Did you do an event to invite all your family and friends to announce that you're in real estate, right? And let them know. And it could be in the office, and you can invite or get some sponsors from banking institutions, title companies, things like that. Have all the industry professionals here with you to show that you're legitimately a full-time realtor now. And that's your family and friends are usually the first couple of deals that you're going to get. And so you have to let them know. It can't be a secret agent. Let them know that you're in business, right? Networking. So not only can you do big events like joining the chamber, but then there's also a lot of networking events, right? Go, get out there. Past clients, agents, always know agents. When you're making offers, especially in the climate that we've had where multiple offers, it always helps to know the agent that you're submitting an offer to. If you don't know that person, try to get to know them as quickly as possible and let them know that you're going to be, you like to communicate, you're going to be on time, it's going to be a smooth transaction working with you. So if the offers are really super close, like you said, $20,000, you don't know why they picked the other person. Was it just the money? Or was it that he had a relationship with them? Having a relationship with the agents it's always a good thing. And it's also another way to find out about potential listings that are coming on the market that's not necessarily on the MLS yet. They might be working on something. Hey, I'll let you know when I get my listing on Jacksonville, whatever the property is. So getting to know agents is huge. It's good to be on broker tour calls, and we're not doing them face to face yet. Once they are, it's a great way to meet agents. Let me see. So then marketing is the more expensive stuff, right? Radio, TV. You can do, you see agents that have billboards. That's costly because you have to do the artwork, then you have to print it, then you have to rent the spot, the labor to put up the sign. So all these marketing things are a lot more expensive than the prospecting and that middle column with both, right? Facebook ads can be expensive. Social media marketing ads. I haven't seen too many people do radio segments lately. Usually Spanish-speaking realtors have a lot of luck buying spots on Spanish radio. But that's once again, that's you understanding your client and what's your focus and what they enjoy, right? I like working with seniors, so I focus a lot on seniors. I happen to be a commissioner for the city of San Jose on the Seniors Commission. I'm a vice chair, so that really helps when I'm having conversations with seniors, and it also helps me understand what's happening in my city when it comes to senior citizens, so I can have those conversations with my client, and it could be a real conversation versus always talking about, are you ready to buy or sell real estate, right? I can tell them how on Almond and Valley they're building a new 55 plus community. This is going to be the cost. This is when it's going to be available for seniors, right? So all those, and that's also, and if you think about it too, that senior commission is a networking event. It provides me with something to talk about with my clients, and it's also prospecting. So it kind of covers a couple of places. Any questions about these things? Anything you've done
Hey,
that's a little
Don,
bit
this is
different than
Robbie.
what I talked about? Hey, Robbie, go
I
ahead.
do have a question about the whole farming thing. You mentioned that in some neighborhoods, like if you get you get a listing in a particular area and try and get a couple more and stuff. So, with like the help of the title company, and you can kind of see the activity going on in a particular neighborhood. So there's one particular neighborhood I was trying to farm or starting to, but there's not very much activity at all. Like how far do you or how much time do you put into a neighborhood before you try to figure out, well, or think that, it's time to go, or it's time to put your effort somewhere else if no one's really doing anything? Because there's just one particular neighborhood, there hasn't been any activity in a long time. But when I was door knocking there, a lot of people, there were people there for like 5-10 years and stuff, and even this one lady who has been there since like the beginning of time. And there's just so much equity in this neighborhood, but not a lot of people are moving or anything. Some of them say because they don't have anywhere else to go, or they can't afford another place or get back in the market or something like that. So at what point do you kind of cut your losses, or do you just keep nurturing that neighborhood? Or how do you usually work with
Well, okay, so if it's just neighborhood, like you said, so some of them live there for a long time, right? So they're probably seniors. They probably are need information about, let's say, capital gains. How can capital gains, or maybe they need information on trusts and wills, or maybe they need, like they said, where would I go? Do they want to buy another house? Do they want to live in, so kind of listen to what they're saying and kind of feed them the information. It doesn't always have to be, if they're older, they always like to know the real estate activity. They like it when you say, these are the houses that have sold, what they listed sold for. They like to know what's pending and who's selling. They like that piece of paper. So, focus on people that live there 10 plus years, right? And then when you're knocking and listen to what they're saying, I have nowhere to go. Well, what does that mean? So, you start feeding them information based on what you're hearing. When you say there's been zero activity, did the title company give you a potential? What's the turnover rate in that area?
Yeah, so like the turnover rate
What
would be
was
like
it?
1%. Like it was like 1%.
So if it's
and like
1%, I would never have done it.
okay,
So,
got it.
no, so be smart about your investment up front. The higher that turnover rate, if you talk to, it needs to be around the 4 or 5%. But regardless, I will farm around my listings, right?
Okay.
Because that might be the one listing that shakes everybody else loose. So I will do the coming soon. I'll do a coming soon flyer. I do the open house, for sale, pennies sold, meet your neighbor. So that's at least 5 or 6 flyers that I'm distributing to that about 100, 150 people, and knocking on doors and making sure they see everything that's going on. Have a neighborhood. I'll do the first open houses for the neighbors, Friday night from like 5 to 7, and just to get to know the neighborhood. So I'll always do it for neighborhood regardless. I don't even care what the turnover rate is. I'll always do it. Now, if I'm picking a farm that I specifically want to farm, I have 2 areas in Santa Clara. Those areas were more like a 4.5% turnover. And so those I'm hitting consistently.
Nice. See,
yeah. And then I always look at it too. So they get the consistent, more general, this is what's happening in your neighborhood. But then I'll also, I'll see like anybody that's owned their home 15, 20 years, they're probably seniors. So I feed them information about, being a senior in that community, whether it's here's a listing of 55 plus communities in our area and, things like that. Information, they all
Okay.
have activities so if there's a local, in San Jose, every neighborhood has their own local senior center. They have free meals, they have activities, and they give them coupons for transportation, BTA. So it's understanding what's happening. So it's really getting to know what's happening in the community. Once you pick your neighborhood, dive in, know what's going on. Who's that council member? What are they doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
don't pick a 1%er. Don't pick a
well, that's
neighborhood that
that's
has a
the thing.
1% turnover.
When I got in there, it was before I started looking to connect with the title company. I just kind of went out there. I got my cards, my business
Okay.
cards and stuff, and finally I had something. And then I just started. It was kind of a random neighborhood. And in talking to these people, I didn't know it was a 1%. I knew nothing. I just kind of went out there knocking on doors, and then I started calling them and stuff. In talking to a lot of these people, they were like, you'd notice kind of how their reaction was, and how they felt about the neighborhood throughout the years, because a lot of them would talk about, well, it's not the same as it was 10 years ago. There's no more kids out playing and stuff, because all the kids that were there, they've now grown up and left. And
Mhm.
there's a few, every once in a while, new neighbors will come in and out and stuff, but it seemed like that some of these people were interested, like they would be open to leaving, but the biggest thing is like, where would they go? That was like, seemed to be the most common thing that I would hear.
Well, and, so sometimes it's where would we go? Well, why don't we research that first, right? Let's buy a house first, because it's always easier to sell a vacant home that's staged, right? And there's, you could talk to them about bridge loans, and, so get a lender in there. If you're hearing that multiple times, then do a flyer, partner with a lender that does bridge loans, and do a flyer, and then that's your mailer, right? To talk about that. So if you're worried about where you're going to go next, this is what we could do. We can, and educate the community on what a bridge loan is and
Yeah.
how they can purchase a home, move out, and then get top dollar for their home, because now it's vacant. You can do any repairs necessary to prep the house for the market, stage it, high-end pictures, videography, and sell it for top dollar,
So it sounds like one
right?
one one listing could probably, be prime, a prime time to get other people actively involved, to turn that 1% turnover into a 3%, perhaps, or 4%, or
Yeah.
whatever down the line.
I mean, if you've already been hitting it, and you've been, it's the consistency, right? So you want to be top of mind. If you don't have their contact information, maybe it's doing a drawing, in the neighborhood, and then you can post it on next door. Give me your, sign up,
Mhm.
contact me, provide me with the contact information. Not doing a drawing for $100 at Home Depot or whatever. Start, just
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
Then
I
you can
did
put them
some
in your
cold calling
command.
there too. I did some cold calling. I have Red X, and so I
There you go.
got that stuff too. So I mean, they've heard of me, they've seen me, but then, yeah, I saw it was like 1%. I'm like, well, maybe I'm wasting my time. But again, what these ideas are really good, as far as like,
Well,
throwing out
what's the
mailers,
price
as far
point
as
in
like,
that neighborhood too? What is it?
probably about 1.5.
Okay,
So, but yeah.
so once again, as a prospector, you're not spending a lot of money on that, right? You're doing flyers, you can create the flyers in the office. It's you,
Hmm.
it's sweat equity, right? You're going out there, knocking on doors and talking to people,
Uh-huh. Hmm. Yeah.
it
Okay.
and farming and knocking on doors and farming, it takes time. It's not, you're not going to knock on the door and they've never met you before and they're going to list their 1.5 with you, right?
Right. 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 Right.
It just takes a little bit of time. Just don't give up. I mean, if you're already, they recognize you in that neighborhood, maybe it's 1%, but
That could
wouldn't
change
you hate
with the
it? Wouldn't
right
you
with the
hate
right
that you
attitude.
stopped and the next person got a listing
Oh man, yeah, man, I would, yeah, I would hate it.
after?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, because now, maybe you were the one that got them thinking about real estate. Usually the person that's right in front of them when they think, okay, I want to sell, that's the person that's going to get it. And so you got to be that face in front of them all the time. You have to be top of mind. When they think real estate, they got to think Robbie, right?
Yeah,
Where's that
yeah,
flyer that
absolutely.
guy dropped off? I think I'm ready,
Yeah, 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 totally.
you know?
Okay, yeah, great ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in January I mail everybody a calendar. That's marketing though, right? That's more on the expensive side, because when I mailed them, they were $1 to mail. I had to buy it, stuff them, put a letter with it. You can, football calendars are coming out, right? Just whatever you can do, it doesn't always have to be real estate related. It's really about developing that relationship with those people and knowing what's
Staying
going
top
on
of
in the neighborhood. So I'm telling you, if it's in San Jose,
It is Santa Clara.
okay, Santa Clara. Santa Clara does, they have commissioner seats that are open right now. You can look into that. They're doing if you log on to the city of Santa Clara, and you could sign up for automatic emails, and you'll be alerted what's going on in Santa Clara, what's going on with Parks and Rec. So there's a ton of content that's not just real estate related. So one side could be what's happening in the community. The backside is what's happening in the neighborhood on real estate. And that's a good piece. Then they'll pick up and read it, right? The versus though, there's just, I don't care until they do.
Totally,
But
totally
find out
awesome.
who that council member is, yeah,
Super valuable
it's
information.
important.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Anybody else have any questions?
Hey,
I just spilled
Donna,
my guts, huh? Yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you please click the hide presenter view?
I'm sorry.
Can you please click the hide presenter view on the three dots below?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Because we can see your whole screen.
Oh, you can see I see. Oh,
No, the next one. The three dots.
this one?
The last
Oh,
one.
this
Yeah. No. Yeah, that
this
one.
one you mean.
Hide presenter view. Hide presenter view, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. High percent of you. There you go. Is that better?
Yes, perfect. Thank
probably
you so
better.
much.
Awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, guys. And sponsorships are really a great way to, once again, it's expensive. So if you're in Santa Clara or San Jose, what's the school in the area that you're farming? Go talk to them. Maybe you can sponsor. I like sponsoring the backpack drive and doing something for teachers as well. So in my neighborhood, I live across the street from Gunderson. And so they know that right before school starts, there's a flyer that goes out, and I do the backpack drive and the teacher appreciation. And I have a big bin in front of my house, and they just drop it off. And then then once again, it's content for social media, right? Then there's pictures of me dropping off backpacks for the kids, and then gifts for the teachers, whatever they need for the classrooms. So just know that side of it is always a little bit more costly, but you get creative on the way you're doing it, right? So it's a sponsorship, but everybody in my neighborhood brought me everything to sponsor, their classrooms or backpacks for kids. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Well, now there's too many things. So let's go. So let's go to the next one. Let's see. How do you know where the customer is and how do you meet them there? You can understand that. I think we were kind of talking about that already, right? Either you're farming, know your clients, know your farm, know the people that you're talking to. And then do you know what your value proposition and how do you communicate it, right? So let's see. So I think it was Robbie, right? We talked about being the area expert in Santa Clara. So if you want to be the area expert, you're, Robbie Realtor, you're Santa Clara expert, whatever the name of that particular neighborhood is within Santa Clara. I mean, if that's your value prop, then everything you do should surround that value proposition, Robbie. So if you're the expert in Santa Clara in that area, then it would be great to not only show the real estate activity, but also everything that's happening in that neighborhood. So you should be communicating. So you have to determine what's important to you, right? So I do a lot with seniors. I have a senior flyer that goes out, and everything, a lot of the information I do for that community is around the seniors and communicating with them. Okay. And then that's how can you come from contribution or connect in a meaningful way? I think that's been our whole conversation, right? It's really connecting with people in a meaningful way about what's important to them. And it could be their community, the drought, interest rates, a bridge loan. And so you notice not everything has to be real estate, right? Really you got to really connect with these people on a personal level. And I think that's how you market and prospect, right? Always come from that place of contribution. Okay. How important do you think branding and consistency is in your marketing, and how can you achieve it? Anybody want to respond to that?
I was going to ask, can you repeat that question again? It broke up on me.
How important is it to think about branding and the consistency around that in your marketing, and how do you achieve it? So I'll give you some big company examples. So I was, when I was in corporate marketing, I was in charge of brand as well for a semiconductor company. So let's use Coca-Cola. Everybody knows Coca-Cola that's red without even reading it. You know, a Coca-Cola bottle or can, right? That's how important it is. You never see Coca-Cola veer away from that red and that stylized writing for Coca-Cola, right? They don't just go, screw it. This week I want to be a blue can and I want to change my font, right? Font is important. Color is important. The voice and the way they communicate, right? It's always, always, always important. So determine who you are and who you want to be to your clients and be that person all the time, right? And so I'm using Robbie because he's the one that spoke up. I don't mean to be picking on you, Robbie, but whoever you want to be and however you want to create your flyers, what's the font on your flyers, how it's structured, create that template and don't veer from it, right? It's okay to change a little bit, right? But don't be red one day and then blue the next day, and because they're not going to remember you.
It seems like consistency has to be key. Like
Absolutely.
I'm actually kind of I'm right there right now with printing materials for, say, like open house signs, business cards that I need to update and things like that. But I want to keep everything the same, especially with the color scheme and everything like that. So it sounds like once you have to make up your mind and go with it, because once it's done, then until you become big time and can rebrand yourself, you really have to stay with that.
Right. It's called brand equity, right? So there's big companies that do valuations around what a brand is worth. What's the Coca-Cola brand worth? What's, Adobe worth, Cisco? You see the big A, that's Adobe, right? You just know it. I was there when they changed the logo from the old green one. And so once you start developing some brand equity, you don't want to just throw that away. That's like burning money. Right. And then starting all over again. And now, who's this Robbie guy again? Right now, you're doing purple flyers and your picture's not even, all that. So be consistent in everything you do, from your social media posts to the flyers, to your open house signs, and the way you deliver your content. So your voice is really important. People like for you to come from a place of contribution. And so that's why that Ford conversation is so important. They don't talk about Ford is family occupation, right? Family's always first. So when you start those conversations, it's not, are you ready to buy or sell real estate first? It's really, how's your family first, right? So really come from a place of contribution. And then how do you follow up, or how should you follow up with the leads generated? How do you think? Well, first is as soon as possible. If you get a lead, be on it, because if you're not, somebody else is, right? So we have an Easter egg hunt. You get 75 leads. They got an email thanking them for their participation. And then we started calling them and making appointments, because they would remember me. Hey, we met last Sunday. We were at the Easter egg hunt. Thank you for coming. You expressed some interest around buying or selling a home. Can we set up an appointment to talk about your real estate goals? And some hang up on you. So what? That's okay. Don't take it personal. Some make appointments. Some never answer the phone. But the important thing is, if you get a lead, you got to follow up on it, because if you're not, somebody else is, right? Any questions about that, or how quickly you need to do it? How to do it?
I would just add also.
We talked about Nate. Go ahead.
I said I would just add also consistently, not giving up on them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you'll hear if you start participating in Bold or Gene Rivers classes, it's about that, you've got to call them every day for 8 days until you get an answer or they hang up. So, and then there's also the DTD2. You guys know about that. It's following up with your database. So if you follow this weekly structure on how to phone call, make contact with your database, there's 2 letters that you call every week. And the plan is you call on Monday. If they don't answer, you leave a message. You call back on Wednesday. Don't leave a message. You call Friday. If you still can't get a hold of them, the message is, oh, sorry, I missed you this week. Hope we can connect soon. But it's always that consistency. That's with your database. These are people you know. A fresh lead from somebody you don't know, call every day for 8 days. Because nobody else does. Everybody calls on the first day. And then every agent call the first day when leads come in, when expired, FISBOs, all that. Everybody calls when it expired, hits the market on day 1. And then day 2, it's just, the people that hang in there, day 8 plus are the ones that are getting the deals. Or first. Okay. Okay, let's continue. This is fun. You guys have fun?
Loads.
Move on. Let me see. The next one. Here we go. Take action. We're supposed to be able to create a piece marketing using this. So has everybody been using command and designs? A little bit of, I just want to know how familiar. Yes, Gregory, thank you. Tara, have you been using it? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah. It wants me to go through some command. And if that helps you, I'll do it. You want me to do it? Okay. Oh, let me know if you can. And sorry, my camera's over here, but my big screen's over here and I wear glasses. So not that. So here's my KW. Oops. Can you see my screen?
No, we still see the PowerPoint.
No. Okay. So let me.
No, we see you.
Hold on. I'm going to show all windows. There we go. We'll leave that one. So it's paused. Hold up. Be patient with me. Okay, now it looks like you're there. Oh, sorry. Should have had it open. Okay, here we go. I'm doing CMAs right now in June. So those are all my tasks that are coming in. This is really, I know this is probably later on, sorry, but this is really important is the health of your database. So and it compares me. So I'm green and other agents in my market center, right? So this says how many phone numbers I have for each contact in my database, emails, addresses, and neighborhoods. So it's really important to try to get as much information as you can for each contact that you're adding. And so when you're going through and doing follow-up phone calls and making contact with your database too, is making sure that the information is correct and updated, right? And so if you want to design something in, it's always in designs. And I always have somebody do this for me. So, it's been a little bit since I tried to do this. Let's see. I like the magazines. You guys know that there's magazines now, right? Yeah. When you go on your homepage too, they talk about new designs on this part of your, when you log into command. So there's a social media post already for Happy Memorial Day. And so these are all available. They're all new. You guys know that, right? And so if this fits with your brand, right? And you like this one, you're able to easily update and go and upload it to social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything you like. You want me to go through one?
Yes, that would be helpful.
Okay. Sure, let's see. Create design. If you want to do, you have these options of email, social, or print. Let's do a print. Continue. And this will help when you're doing your flyers, right? So you can already have a template that you can upload that you're going to edit all the time, or you could do a brand new one, or you can use an existing template. So they go, so you can have listings, there's a coming soon. And so they already have all these created templates. Of course, they're in the KW brand. So if you're using the red, grays, and blues, red, gray, and white, these work for you. So if you wanted to do, let me see, which one do I like? I love kitchens, right? I'm a woman. I like kitchens. So you want to use it. You do print order. Okay. And then you could easily, you could easily update. So the font, everything's really creative. So it's that easy. So the coming soon is already there. They already have the icons. So imagine like this house that I have coming soon is going to be a 4-bedroom. And it's double clicked. That was a 2-bath, so I'm fine there. I think it's and then let's just say it's 1,400. I don't know. I like square feet like that. I don't like the SQ, spelling it out like that. So I just change it. And then you can easily adjust. So if I wanted to move it over, I just use the arrows to move things over. The picture is already it's already a template, right? So that's your area. So let's just use this. And you see this replaces the image. This icon right here means you're replacing. I just take the one out underneath. My picture was a little bit smaller. And it didn't do it. It's supposed to come directly into that shape. And it's probably because this is replace the image. Huh.
Glad I'm not
That's
the only one that
interesting.
has the same problem.
What?
Would that be one of the new changes?
You were having the same problem?
Every time.
Okay, well, that's still okay with me though. Oh, we took the shape for some reason that time.
It works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
It's interesting because it took off my bedroom's bath and square footage. I'm just going back. Well, that's a trip.
I've noticed that command design sometimes is a little finicky with little things.
It is a little finicky sometimes. That was, don't say, that was weird that it did that. That was weird that it did that. I'm thinking of why would it do that? It shouldn't have. You can also, God, it really irritates me why it did that. It should be easier. And when I tried to undo the edits that I did, it wouldn't put the information back in. So it took the shape, it took that. You should just be able to update your bullets. Remove this. Then you can, this is an old picture of me, but okay. Boy, it sure is acting weird, huh? Wow, it's not even letting me undo it. Well, we have some questions for my IT guy, right? They wanted me to teach you guys how to do this, but it ain't working, huh?
Maybe try to double click on the circle,
Uh-huh.
like double click. Will it allow you to crop? Like, there you go. And then you can crop
Okay.
the photo in the
Yeah, but the
background.
picture doesn't.
You might have to shrink it.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But let's pretend that's what I want. And then I update it. Then you can either download, print. And sometimes I could upload this to Canva too, right? Because I like Canva, but designs is good. Because it does provide you with templates. If you like the template, then you can reuse it over and over and over again. You can order prints through here or print it in the office yourself or drop it into an email, right? So that's your image for an email as well to your database. Make any questions about that? And so that goes for all the templates you can do coming soon. You know, social media templates are available there. Right. And they give you all the icons for you to customize the pieces. But if we go into designs, this could be a whole class on designing a flyer. I just really want to touch upon that there are templates available there. You don't have to start from scratch all the time. And they're updating them and changing them all the time. And if you don't have somebody working on your branding, then this is a good way to start off. And they also have social media graphics for you that you can download and easily use or update a little bit and use in your own brand voice, look and feel. Okay. They have a lot on design, but I don't think. I think we're all kind of familiar with what to use as templates, right? So you have the coming soons. You just click for sale just listed. They have all, you know, neighborhoods. They have everything here. And then here's holiday images. So if you're going, let's see, June, there should be Father's Day. Happy Father's Day pops, right? I mean, it depends if this works for your brand and this is how you want to communicate. So it's all available through that. Okay, and I think that, I mean, that could be just a whole class in itself. Yeah. Any questions on command? We're good? We're good? Okay. I'll go back. Let me stop share. Let me go to the presentation again. We can look at some that have been used by others. Let me go back to sharing. Hold on. There we go. So if you're inviting, like we talked about, having a neighborhood, and if you're that neighborhood expert. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do the whole. There we go. Now you can see it all. Now I'm still not doing the full screen. Okay, there you go. So they have the templates in there. So if you want to print out an invite with a picture of the property to do that neighborhood, remember the 30-30-30 around a listing, and you can invite the neighborhoods over to an open house. It has a great picture of the property, and you can put in your KW logo, your picture. So customize it, but it gives you an idea of what you can do as far as a postcard or a flyer to drop off in that neighborhood. This is another one. This is a template that they have to give information on a neighborhood. So if you're farming an area, You can give them what the average list price is, what's the average sold price. That's not California, right? How many active pending? You can, talk about homes are selling at, 17%, 117% over list price, things like that. And once again, branding it to yourself. So this is a great piece to either do as a door knock, drop it off the doorstep, or a mailer. I talked about in my, when I circle farm around the listing, here's some just listed, here's some pendings, social media. It's all in details release. This is everything that they're doing as a group. I'm seeing a lot more of that, where one person will put it like this month's highlights from an agent, and they put everything that they have as either sold, pending, or just listed. Great way to promote yourself or promote your activity. Or if you're new, the activity in your office, right? So Nate, you could be using this for whatever's happening in your office, grab those listings and do some postings to show that you're active in real estate, right? And we kind of talked about this, how you can, I'm not going to go into paid ads. This is like a whole class that Nick Baldwin, if you wanted to do paid social, Nick Baldwin has a lot of YouTube classes that they're free. And he goes through how to do paid ads or emails. So it has a lot of this. And he has great tips and tricks on how to be successful in this. I wanted to show. Go ahead.
Can you repeat the name of the YouTube class you mentioned?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Whose YouTube class for the emails you said?
I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
You mentioned on the YouTube class, whose class is that?
Oh, Nick Baldwin. Yeah, Nick Baldwin, he's a KW agent.
Okay.
Been on stage with Gary Keller. He's great. He's energetic, and he just has really good classes. You can follow him on Facebook, or really just do a search on Nick Baldwin on YouTube. And there is just a lot of content around creating successful Facebook ads, Facebook in general, social media. Social media overall is kind of his thing. And he has a lot of classes that he does in the morning that are free that you can listen to as well.
Thank you so much.
There's also a class that's about $35 a month. If you're newer, it's called Never Ending Referrals. It's done by a gentleman named Steve Schulster. It's early in the morning here. I think it's at 5 in the morning. It's a half hour, but then he tapes it. He makes it available on his Facebook page. And it's, right now they're going through, the market is shifting, and what do you have to do to be successful in this market? So everything is very, it relates to the market of today. And so that's a really good class if you want to look him up as well. He's a great KW agent. There's some less expensive tools that we don't really talk about here. There's a tool called HomeBot app that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm hoping you can still see my screen. Can you see my screen? Or are you still looking at the slides?
Still looking at the slides.
Okay, let's go here. This is a great app. You know how I was saying I was doing CMAs to people in June. What I'm doing now that's a little bit different is I think it's really inexpensive. It was like $1 a month. I wanted to show you this because this is a great way to be engaged with your leads and really know when they're ready. You get, let me just show you first. So I enter and I just started doing this, but I'm really loving it. I enter my clients, potential clients' leads, and you enter their information, first name, last name. As long as you have an email address, you can use this tool. And you're going to do, okay, I'll just put, you don't have to have a phone number. And then their address, I'll put it in my mom's address. And that's really all you need. They'll get it, and I'm going to Save it. When you save it, this little, you can click on it and look at this. It's amazing what they get. No, but you can preview what they get. And you can also edit it. So if some of the information is incorrect that they have, they'll get an email. It says, here's your current home report, talks about the value, how much net worth she has, what you've paid so far towards your principal, towards tax. And that looks right. You could change numbers, right? They talk about if you want to refinance, they give you information on refinancing, interest rates, what you can do, what you would lose when. If you give you little tips, if you pay just $500 more a month, you save $92,000 in interest. If you rented your home or Airbnb'd it, and then can you help me learn more? If they click on that, they'll contact you. What's nice about this, if you go back to my client list, is that I can see their activity and how much they're checking things out. And I get a weekly email from them that tells me who's the most active on this site, who's really checking it out. So let's, let me see. I know she's been looking. And so I could click on her and I could see that she got the first email 2 months ago. But then 19 day goes, ooh, 3 days ago, she's back on here checking out. So this is somebody I'm going to call today. So as you start getting leads, friends, family, it's a great way to stay connected, and they get this email consistently from you, and you can check on their activity, and you get an email from them. Okay. The only thing that they require is that you partner with a lender. Some lenders already have access. So you get this for, I think it's like $12 a month if you partner with the lender. And so, because when they want information on refinance, they'll show that that's your partner, and they'll get the lead as well. So I hope that helps you a little bit. That's kind of a nice little tool to get in front versus, not versus, in addition to the 36 touch that you can do through command. So that's called HomeBot.
Do you ever feel like you maybe contact people too much? Like you're okay with having HomeBot and Command Smart Plan, so and maybe something else? So would you be over touching them? Do you ever feel like you're doing too much or no?
No. They're not complaining. I think out of however many people I had on there, only one person opted out. And they have the freedom to opt out, right? They can always opt out. But I haven't had that. I had one person opt out, and I know her. So it's usually my friends that do it more than anybody else. They're like, I could get the information from you. Okay, so you guys kind of get the difference between prospecting and marketing, right? And the different costs related, right? Marketing is a lot more expensive, prospecting. So, if you can it's really smart financially to be, prospecting, focus, marketing enhanced, right? We're not saying don't spend any money, just be careful where you're spending money. Because it can get really expensive. Everybody, especially with newer agents, everybody comes to you telling you this is the best way to get leads. This is how you're going to get a deal. Just pay, $5.95 a month, and you will get, you're going to be a successful agent, when in fact, it's really you and your hard work that's really going to make you successful. Any ahas? I did a lot of the mistakes. Like I started geofarming immediately, right? I get my license, and I was going to mail these cards out. It was like $1,000 a month. I mean, how long was that really going to last, right? It was like 6 months later. I was like, whoa, need to stop this, right? Because I wasn't getting the business from the cards. I was getting my business from calling my database. So, and it was just, I was at a Tom Ferry seminar, and the geofarming people were there, and they made it sound like it was the best thing since sliced bread. And I was at Intero. I hadn't read the MRAA book yet, and didn't understand how you should be, prospecting, focused, marketing enhanced. I just signed up for everything, and I was going to go broke really fast, going that route. So, any other comments, questions? You're good? Okay. This is really important. You should, so we're going to talk about daily success habits. So you should focus on not trying, you either do or you don't. Add 10 new contacts to your database every day, have 10 conversations a day. People love handwritten notes and preview homes that week, 10 homes. There's always new homes on the market. You can preview them on MLS. Best thing you could do is go out and drive, see a couple of houses, you see some houses, take pictures of yourself in that home, use that content to promote yourself on social media so you're an active agent. People love that. I like to take pictures in kitchens. That's my thing. Handwritten notes. So everybody has Facebook, right? Everybody knows when there's a birthday, right? Take that list and send out birthday cards. How easy is that? So I send a birthday card, and I actually also post on their birthday, and I text them a call because they love being recognized on birthdays, right? Once you start having clients keep track of their home anniversary, there's another opportunity, a home anniversary, right? And then I also pick the major holidays and I send cards as well. So Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, I pick all the major holidays and people get cards from me as well. But there's also other opportunities. Somebody just got married, somebody just got engaged. People love handwritten notes. Nobody does that. Just thinking of you, have a great day, whatever. And the 10 conversations a day. So that's so important because you're going to be, once you start tracking, you're going to know how many conversations it takes to get an appointment, how many appointments does it take to get a listing, right? And then how many listings to close, right? Because not every listing closes. So once you start understanding your stats, your business becomes predictable. So if you feel like you need an extra listing that month for whatever reason, and it takes you 100 conversations because you've been tracking it to get a listing, to get an appointment, to get a listing, then you know what needs to get done. So the best thing is to start tracking all these every day. Okay. Any questions about these? We're good. Oops. Scripts. So there's a script class if you're interested in objection handling, a script class. There's a free class every morning at 7. There's about 3 classes now. There's one at 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. It's a half-hour class, or it's script practice online. It's done by a company called Cyberbackers. They are a VA company, but they work a lot with KW, and they do this class that's free. And so they'll pick a big objection that's happening. People that participate can suggest a topic, and you practice scripts around that topic. They work on how to lead generate, or all the things they're talking about here. Uncover motivations. Why do they want to buy or sell? You become an expert on working on objections, closing the deal. We talk about mirroring. So it's a great class. If anybody's interested, let me know, and I could forward you the link, and it's free. It's a great way to start the day. I like it. I got off it for a while. When I started doing the class again, I realized how out of practice I was. It's something that you need to practice. It's like, I used to play softball. I can't throw a ball anymore, right? Like I used to, because I don't practice anymore. So same thing with script practice. And so anybody's been doing script or get a partner, it is the script practice is so important because you have to internalize it, right? So I know in the beginning, I don't want to do the scripts. It doesn't sound like me. Well, the idea is for you to memorize it, internalize it. Once you have you have it memorized, it's internalized, then you can customize it a little bit, right? Make it sound a little bit more like you, right? But don't try to customize it and personalize it. Why the scripts are successful already. So why change it? You personalize it a little bit, but there's no real reason to change them. Any questions on those? You guys are easy. It also helps you build confidence because there's nothing worse. Oh, and if you don't practice your scripts, then you're practicing on your clients, and that's not a good person to practice on, right?
So you said those are 7:30 our time? and 8 our
Her
time.
time.
And where's that information? You're gonna send it to us where? Through the
I can send it to you via email.
okay.
It will take me a second to find the link, or I would put it in our chat. So just, homes@donnacastillo.com. Just reach out to me and I'll forward you the link on that class. I love it. You do it as a big group, and then they have little breakout sessions. Big group, 15 minutes, breakout sessions for 15 minutes, and then the class is over. Just quick.
Donna, what's your email again?
The first judge, just tell them you're new and you just want to observe, and that's fine too.
Donna, what is your email again so that we can send it and request the link?
Homes, HOM, here, I'll put it in here in the chat. homes@donnacastillo.com. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. We all know about the do not call, right? So when you're out cold calling, be careful. And so I think we're good. Anybody has questions regarding the marketing and the prospecting tools you should be using? You can ask me how I do it. Anything? You guys are an easy crowd. I usually get a little beat up more than this. So the best thing for you guys to get started, once you figure out what you're prospecting, how you're going to prospect, what's next is really time blocking. So figure out what a model week looks like for you and plug it in. So, do your 7:30 class. We're going to do script practice. Your day starts at 8. You're going to review what you got to do and start a call. I like to call my database between like 9 and 11, try to get at least 10 contacts. I'm trying to get 20 contacts a day. And I try to have my break and my lunch. And then afternoons are for appointments, handwritten notes, adding those 10 people into command, setting them up on smart plans, getting my flyer ready for door knocking, but really, really time block it on your calendar so that all your marketing and prospecting activities are happening.
Can I ask you a question?
And make sure sure.
So since we're doing this constantly, can I ask you, where does most of your 10 or 20 contacts come from every day? Where are the new ones that you're constantly getting every day? Where do they come from?
So,
where do you get them from?
like I said, did the egg hunt, that was 75 people. But it's really, if I'm calling, so if you follow the DTD2, and you guys know what that is, right?
But those are existing contacts, right?
Yeah, but the ideal is to talk to your whole database, once per 4
I
times
guess what
a
I'm
year,
trying to
right?
ask though is the new, like when they say you're adding 10 contacts a day, that will mean that you're adding brand new contacts, correct?
But
People
they can
that
be friends, like I have an appointment this afternoon with my neighbor. I didn't have her contact information. She reached out. Now I have her phone number and email. That's one person that I added to command. She reached out to me. I have that contact information. It could be, if I'm farming, I don't like, you could get contact information from Vulcan, but Vulcan, once again, that's $5 something a month. Or you can use something called Spokeo if you need contact information for somebody. Spokeo.com. It's like $12 a month, and you can put in addresses or names and it'll look up, and it's about 75-80% accurate. That's
I was
one
just
way
trying.
if you don't have them.
I asked because I was still trying to wrap my head around it. It's like, okay, if I know I got my database filled, I know I've reached out to all my family members and friends, my immediate sphere, and if we're supposed to ideally create 10 brand new contacts a day, right? Because that's what we do: talk to 10 people and add 10 people. That means every day you should have a resource that you can add 10 more contacts, and that's why I was actually where those 10
you can ask, okay, so I have a big database, so it takes me a lot to get through my database, but you can ask for referrals, those from your existing, right?
Okay.
You're farming an area, you said, right, Nate?
Yes, I am. I am. And they're all in my, yes, to answer your question. Mhm.
Do you have all their contact information?
Well, it's funny you ask, because I'm actually getting ready to, I think I'm just going to pay for their email and some phone numbers, because they were actually, I did them through Title. One of my buddies at Title, and just got their addresses and their names. And I just farmed by mailing and door knocking. But I'm going to get the numbers and emails later, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It's just that constant. When you go to a networking event, go in saying you're going to talk to 10 people and get their contact information, right? If you do, if you're out door knocking and you don't have those people contacts information, you're going to talk to at least 10 people and get their contact information and add them to your database and put them on smart plans. You can call your family and friends, ask for referrals. If you're doing Facebook ads, any kind of ads like that, when they respond, you're going to get their contact. You're going to call them. There's a contact, right? And put them in your command. So it's really just, it's like changing your mindset. Everybody you talk to is a potential conversation that you can have around real estate, and you're going to be collecting their information and adding them to command.
Okay. So pretty
when
much
you're talking to
referrals and new prospecting.
Yeah, exactly. You know, when I did that luncheon at my friend's company, right? I talked to probably about 25 people. That was 25 people I added to my database, and it eventually turned into 4 deals. So it's really changing your mindset. Like, everybody you talk to is a potential. You're talking to them and a potential person that you could add to your database, right?
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have questions? Wow. Anything?
I tried to give you a hard time.
Keep going.
That's okay. I've had enough.
I mean, you know, like, does somebody have kids belonging to the PTA? Now the sports are in. My granddaughter's playing softball. I'm around, you know, 10 parents every game. I'm collecting their contact information slowly but surely and having those conversations, right? School functions. So, you know, place yourself in those networking events and talk to, you know, just go out and start talking to people. It doesn't mean that when you talk to 10 people, it's 10 people that you have to sit at a desk and talk on the phone, right? It's talking to 10 people and then adding 10 people to your database. That's how you're going to grow your database. Anybody else? There's that 100 ways to, there's a list too. There's 100 ways, you know, dentists, doctors, who works on your car, you know, there's probably people that's not in your database. There's, I think it's on Connect, there's, it's just like a memory joggers. I think it's called memory joggers. And it's just a bunch of a listing of people who does your nails, dog groomers, hairdressers. All those people are potential people, and all those people know somebody. So, you know, and just remember, it's like, if you love your barber, you tell all your friends about your barber, right? So, you know, don't feel bad about talking to them about business either, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else? You guys are good. Well, feel free to reach out to me any time. I think I gave you guys back an hour of your life, right? Because I didn't go through all the command. That's 10:15. But feel free to reach out absolutely anytime. I would love to help any one of you if you have any kind of marketing questions. I mean, I think that's where I've been successful, is because I did so much marketing prior to my real estate career. So I was able to combine those two things. But feel free to reach out anytime. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Have a great day. Go get a listing. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.